Good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, March 27th. Yes, I did check the date. It is March 27th. My name is Simon, and if people don't know who I am by now, well, look up my Facebook profile. That's probably where I've posted this video. Everything on the weight loss program is going quite well, but I'm still haven't gotten into any physical activity yet. And a lot of that has to do with how my body has, for lack of a better term, deteriorated over the last couple of years. About 2.5 years, 3 years ago, I noticed a strange burning sensation in my left hip, and I figured I'll put some heating pad on it, I'll go to acupuncture, I'll go to my chiropractor and see what the problem is, and it never quite got the problem out. And what I discovered is I went to see my doctor, we had an MRI done, and I have what's called a labral tear on my left hip. Now that sounds really scary, but it really isn't, but it's still painful. And what a labral tear is, the labrum, which is the part of the hip that connects with the joint, there's some tendons there that have a small tear in it. So it's about 1.5 cm tear, and that has been causing me a great deal of pain in my left hip. So I went into physiotherapy to alleviate the pain, and now I don't have it as often as I do. But it still limits me in how often I can do my activity, what sort of activity I can do. And as the pain has gotten worse, my ability to walk distances has decreased, my ability to do just about anything has decreased. And in order for me to do things, I had to find myself taking painkillers. You know, a lot of people say, well, how much Tylenol do you take? The average person would take about 2 Tylenol to take care of a headache. I take between 4 and 6 Tylenol to get through a very busy day. So as a photographer, see, there's my camera in the background. If I would have to shoot a wedding, I would take anywhere between 4 and 12 Tylenol pills to get through a wedding day because of the pain. I could, so that I can stand up, so that I can walk great distances, and I don't have to worry about that pain. But I don't want to live on Tylenol. Tylenol is bad for your liver if you take too much of it, and I don't want to be a person who has to constantly pop pills in order to do stuff. So again, that's why this is another reason for my weight loss. I want to be able to walk longer than 3.5 minutes without having to take a break. I know that sounds really weird, especially for people like, it's 3.5 minutes. Can't you go 5 minutes? It's painful to go 5 minutes. And as the weight starts to come off, I know that I'm going to have more energy to go the distance, to go longer. I just have to get that part of my body strengthened. And the part that's really that really creates this, it's not really the hip and it's not my legs, because my legs are quite powerful because they've had to carry around 400 plus pounds of weight for the last couple of years. So it's the lower back. It's that space, when you've got your back is here and it's attached to your legs. So it's this area right here, around the sciatic nerve area. It's very weak, and I have to build it up. So now the next step for me is to get myself a personal trainer or find somebody that can help me train and build up the muscle in that back so that I can gain that strength so that I can walk those distances. Because once I start walking and I've got a good beat going on my headphones, then I'll walk forever. And that's what I'm looking forward to, because I really want to get back to walking. But as a result of having low activity and not having the energy to do anything, I found myself spending money on things that a lot of people would say, why are you spending money on that when you could do this? Well, when you're fat and lazy like I've been, spending money to get myself back and forth to work was a whole lot easier than just, I really don't want to do that. I don't want to walk. I don't have the energy to do it. So, but it does take a toll on your finances. And as a single person, I don't really care. Like, I shouldn't say I don't really care, but I don't notice it because I'm single. I pay my rent, I make sure that my bills are paid, and then I feed myself. And as we found from the video last week, I used to feed myself on a lot of garbage, so I've gotten away from that. But I wanted to let people know exactly what sort of how I was throwing away that money. Literally throwing away money at places where I shouldn't be throwing it. So I did a 4-month look at my finances, and this is what I can tell you about the last 4 months. So I am looking at a screen because this is where all of my information is. So just when I talked about sweets and candy and all that stuff, I made everything into 3 different categories. I've got sweets, and then I've got takeout, which is meals that I would have delivered or eating out at work, and then transportation, which means taxi or Uber. Uber's a great service, and I probably should have taken out shares by now. So when I talk about sweets, for the last 4 months, or at least as of March 22nd, this is when I did my paperwork. For the last 4 months, I've spent about $1,900, $1,950 on sweets. That's pop, that's chips, that's candy bars, chocolate covered almonds, candy, 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 candy. Okay, that sounds like a lot over 4 months. Well, let's break it down to something a little bit more simplified. Let's take a look at it on a per month basis. So per month, I was probably spending about $485 a month on sweets and junk food. Wow, scary. But the scary part is how much money I spent per month on takeout and on meals and pizza being delivered. So that all added up too, those pizza bills. So again, spent about $2,640 on takeout. Now, takeout wasn't just deliveries to the house, but takeout also consists of buying my lunch and my breakfast at work, not eating at home, not eating a cooked meal that I cooked myself. So that's what I classed as takeout. And so like I said, $2,600 in takeout food over the last 4 months. And that equated to about $660 a month. Ooh, that's really scary. But the worst part is, the worst waste of my money is, and I'm still guilty of it. I still take Uber to work, and sometimes I take it home from work, but I'm trying to get out of that. Uber for the last 4 months. And it's crazy when you hear this number. But I spent a lot of money on transportation back and forth to work. I live a half an hour, 45-minute walk to work. And it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're a fat guy with stubby legs and a sore back, a half an hour walk you should be to the moon and back, because that's the perception. So I spent in the last 4 months $775 a month on transportation. Whoa. That's a car payment. That's a car payment for a Cadillac. I could be driving a Cadillac for that kind of money that I'm spending. But I'm not, because I don't have a place to park it, and I don't want to pay all those parking fees. And then you're probably thinking, but you're spending $775 a month on transportation. Yes, I am, but I'm not going to do that for long. And that all has to go with the activity that I have to build up. So with this program that I'm on, I find my energy levels are starting to increase, so that I'm not as winded as I used to be. Climbing stairs doesn't hurt. I mean, climbing stairs, it seems like it's really simple, but climbing stairs hurts because everything hurts. The knees hurt, the hips hurt, the back hurts, the feet hurt. Everything hurts because you're carrying around all this weight. So the whole point here is to get rid of this weight so that things don't hurt as less. Go to the gym. Now, I'd love to be able to go to the gym and get on the treadmill and get on the stair walker, but I'm too heavy for those machines right now. So I have to do my activity in other ways. But I am learning, and I am going to get to that point. But I just wanted to give you guys an update to tell you where I was. I'm still drinking lots of water. I'm still doing my program. There's no sweets, and it's fantastic. So when we start to see a little bit more significant change in me, then I'm going to start to talk about the products that I'm on, so that you're not thinking, oh, he's full of shit, he doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know a whole lot yet, but when the time is right, I'll let you in on it. I'll let you in on it as well. Sorry for that. Before I do let you go, I want to set the record straight, because my coach in this, she's been really good. She lives in Halifax and I live in Toronto, so it's been interesting. But my coach wanted to point out that there's this pill that I said that I took, the laxative. It's not really a laxative, but what this pill does, it's a natural fiber. It's got green tea in it and a few other natural items in it that allows for the easy flow of effluent and to help evacuate your system of all the garbage that's in your system. So it's just to make things flow. It's not really a laxative, because sometimes it works right away and sometimes it doesn't work right away. It's when there's just enough to evacuate your bowels and keep you clean. It's just to keep things moving. So again, I just wanted to set the record straight on that particular thing. So it's not a laxative, but it is a very useful pill, because it does help make sure that everything is working properly, and I'm expelling all the crap that I need to get out of my body. So today is March 27th. My name is Simon, and thanks for watching.